Hi, I'm Allison Haynes. This is my first year at Bridge City Middle School, and I'm the theater teacher, and I also teach BCTV. I've been at BCI before this. I taught math there for 9 years and absolutely loved it, and now I get to try something new, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. We're building a theater program. It's been a while since we've had one here, so we're off to a great start, and it's going to grow next year. All right, this is my classroom, and it is the happy place for me every day, and it's a bright spot in the lives of so many students. However, there are challenges when it comes to teaching theater and BCTV in a traditional classroom. The first challenge is space. Thankfully, our BCTV programs are growing, and so is the theater program. So I have very large classes, up to 30 students at a time, and in this traditional classroom, there is not enough room for us to safely act out the scenes that we need to do. We also don't have enough electrical outlets in here. I don't know if you can see up there. That is one outlet, 1 out of 3 that are in this classroom. We plug in our Chrome carts, which we use Chromebooks in this class, and even though we try to be very careful, if this gets bumped, even the slightest, we have to pull it down. And then I had to bring a ladder from home because it happens almost on a daily basis. So I had to get a ladder from home, and then we have to climb up on the ladder to plug it in every single time, just because you can't even reach the outlet by standing on a chair. Then I have other outlets over here. This is what we use for BCTV. And if you look, I have 2 power strips down here, and then I have 2 extension cords, which we use regularly to try to meet the needs of students. As I previously mentioned, space is an issue. We have many different varieties of the way we use our space. So I have this section over here that we use for BCTV and in theater, and we have seating for all students. And it might look spacious right now because there are no students in a classroom, but when the classroom is maxed out with students and they're all rehearsing, you can see how incredibly limited the space is. Let's take a minute to talk about our cinder block walls. They are nice and sturdy and they keep us safe. However, they present educational challenges. Teachers like to enhance the learning environment with educational posters, and I've tried 5 different methods to keep them stuck to the wall, but they continually fall, so we get the ladder out and try to re-stick them. I also had a background that we use for BCTV and for theater, and as you can tell, it has fallen down. We've tried to stick this other section up multiple times, and it just will not stick any longer. So that's definitely a challenge. We also have the challenge of electronic signals not passing easily through these cinder block walls. However, the sound waves will travel very easily through the cinder block walls because there's no insulation. So we try to work with what we have. We have these foam insulators that we put up, hoping that it would create a sound barrier, but I still hear everything from the classroom next door. And in here, when theater students are doing vocal warm-ups or rehearsing scenes, everyone's talking at once, and you can hear it in the classroom next door and in the science lab behind us. One time they were taking a test, and they actually emailed me and said, please have the students be quiet so our students can focus, which was hard because we were rehearsing that day for a theater grade. So that was definitely a challenge when my students couldn't do what they needed to in order to allow other students to do what they needed to. Theater and BCTV both need lots of props and costumes, and of course that requires storage. Since this is a traditional classroom, there's no prop closet or storage area, so I got creative and hung some curtains from the ceiling and created our makeshift storage closet. So if you'd like to look back here, we try to use the space as wisely as we can. So we have props and costumes and storage tubs, and then we have some clothing racks over here with our hang-up costumes, and then a storage cabinet. Oh, there's the ladder that we pull out almost daily. So we don't have the storage that we need, and storage would be such a blessing because I've had people call and offer donations to us of things that we could use currently or even in the future, but I had to refuse it just because I had no place to keep it. I'd like to take a minute to show you our stage. Theater students would love to be able to perform on a stage. However, it's a shared space. It's in the cafeteria and we're having lunch now. So in the mornings we really can't do it because there's breakfast and they clean up after breakfast. Then they are preparing lunch, so pots and pans are banging and they're talking to each other. And they should. Our cafeteria ladies need to feed our students and that's what they're supposed to do. But it makes it hard for students to perform while that's going on. Then of course we have the lunches and you clean up after lunch. And then our cardinal pickers, this is their classroom because they don't have a place to be. And then at the end of the day, we start getting ready for bus riders and all of that good stuff. So there's really not a good time for theater to ever use the stage during the school. Our middle school theater students have performed 4 plays already this year, and we're currently working on our 5th play. This stage presents challenges because there are no wings to speak of. Wings are the places on the side where we keep extra props and students wait to hear their cue lines and go on stage. If you look here, our curtains are incredibly close together and we have students who have to enter carrying suitcases or large props and they can't even fit through the opening without moving the curtains. Another exciting thing about our theater program is next year our middle school students will compete in the UIL one-act competition for the first time ever. A challenge that we have is that our stage is not a regulation-sized stage. So when we practice, it's not the way we perform. Also, tech, which means sound and lights, are not a thing we have here. So the first time our students ever get to experience that is if we go to a clinic or actual competition.